SVRA Park in Sacramento, California. They call it the Hangtown Classic for round 2 of 125 action. Moto 2 coming up as they work on the track. Talon Bolin, his first victory coming back to America after several years of the GP circuit around the world. Ricky Carmichael looking very relaxed after taking a second place in that first moto, looking for another overall win. Ernesto Fonseca tries to recover from a 19th in that first moto. Let's go back to Davey now at the starting gate. Your impressions?
Getting ready for the start of the second moto down here in front of the 125 gate. They say that experience is what you get when things don't work out the way they're supposed to. I think Ricky Carmichael got a little experience here in the first moto at Hangtown. How he reacts now in the second moto might set the tone for the rest of this 125 National Series, guys.
Ricky Carmichael only 9 wins away from breaking Barnett's landmark 25 125 victories on the season. Talon Bolin looking for his very first national victory. Board sideways, we're ready to go for moto number 2 from Sacramento, California. Who will get the jump? Ricky Carmichael. Just a little squirrely coming out of the gate number 33. Casey Lytle. Casey Lytle's got the whole shot. Whoa, Ramsey getting a little out of sorts there with Bolin right behind him. Carmichael in a good spot. He's about 4th right now. All the big players are in good position.
Looking real good for Yamaha of Troy. Both those guys. Oh.
Looks like Kawasaki went flying from the inside, and he's underneath the bike. It affected Fonseca once again, who got a slow start. Billy Payne.
Well, that's dangerous. He's underneath the motorcycle right there. The pipe, I'm surprised if it didn't burn him. It was right on him. The pipe is like a frying pan. Watch again. Right here, Billy Payne. He's going to get high-sided right off the back tire of the rider in front of him, goes down. That's just a dangerous time to go down when this pack is.
Bad break for Pro Circuit too, David Bailey, because they've already lost one rider, Shea Bentley, who broke his arm in the first moto of the opening round. So it looks like Billy Payne will be having to recover. At least they got a week off next week. If it's not too serious, maybe he can come back in time. Casey Lytle is our leader. Ricky Carmichael now moving into 2nd place. Casey Johnson in 3rd. And Talon Bolin in 4th.
Carmichael wasting no time going right down that watered downhill where Casey Johnson was maybe taking it a little bit easy. Carmichael took advantage of it. But as many riders behind him as he possibly can between himself and Bolin, make this moto a little easier than first time out.
Casey Johnson, just a little mistake there, but Bolin not close enough to take advantage of it yet.
Look how far Bolin jumps, all the way past the water. And he rides flat on the rear tire of the guy in front of him. I mean, if there's just one little tiny mistake, he's almost halfway past the guy.
Bolin in pursuit of Casey Johnson as we take a look at our leaders. A 4-pack lead. Inside, Ricky Carmichael on Casey Lytle. It's Carmichael in the lead. Boy, he wasted no time after that first moto experience.
He looked irritated to me when he came in and got his interview with Davey. Very calm. He looked motivated already. Like, just bring the second moto on right now. Put gas in this thing. It's going to be a different story next time. And he was kidding.
Explaining to some of those new fans now, Ricky Carmichael the second in the first moto. Should he win this moto and Talon Bolin go 1-2, the rider with the best finish in the second moto would take the overall. Chad Watts looking on. His young rider dominating the first round, sweeping it 1-1, having more trouble with this young man, number 7-11 in the first moto of the second round. But Ricky is coming back.
That was a sketchy time to reach up to clear his vision. Front end was dancing around. It's full throttle up the hill. Usually wait till you're in the air to do that stuff. He reached up just before he was going off the jump. He does things like that. It scares me, but there's another one. It's all sideways right there. This guy takes chances, but it worked the first moto. He won it.
Well, he's going to turn into a fan favorite the way he rides, that's for sure, because he keeps the fans guessing. Casey Johnson, number 16.
Much better start for Ramsey. He got wide in the first corner, tagged the hay bales, but saved it.
Well, this is his best day in motocross after a horrible start on the season. He had a 7th place finish in the opening moto here today. 125 West Supercross champion Nathan Ramsey.
Look at that landing. McCormick jumping off that jump about as far as Bolin. Both those guys aggressive through there. They're making up time, but it takes a lot of strength to soak up that landing.
RC gaining some time out front. Alan Bolin to the inside on Casey Lytle, and he moves into second place. Boy, he's not the most orthodox rider in the world, that's for sure.
He's fast.
He creates excitement. And Bolin catch Ricky Carmichael. We'll be right back with more Moto 2 of 125 action in a moment. AMA Motocross is brought to you by Suzuki, makers of innovative motorcycles and ATVs. See the incredible new 1999s at your dealer now.
Okay, this was so good. We got to look at it again. Bolin down the inside, just chattering into that corner on the brakes and on the power, still in a slide. That's what it takes to move up the ladder and try to stay with Carmichael.
Incredible how this guy holds onto that machine sometimes at the speeds that he's going.
It's a lot like Hannah. He wants to win, his total determination, and he's not worried about physical fitness. You heard him after the first moto going, it's easy. So he's letting it all hang out.
125 action, second moto. Don't forget, we've got the 250s coming up. Can Sebastian Tortelli repeat like he did with a 1-1 sweep at Glen Helen in the opener? Is there anyone who can step up to challenge Sebastian Tortelli like Bolin has Ricky Carmichael? Here's Nathan Ramsey, number 25, and Jason McCormick. This is the finest motocross so far for McCormick.
And Ramsey. The first moto was a disaster, going down the first corner both times. It took him half the first moto to work himself into the top 20 and even score a point.
16th and 12th in the two motos in the first round. For McCormick, he had a 24th in the first round in the first moto and came back with an 8th in the second moto at Glen Helen.
I'll tell you, it's pretty frustrating to work your tail off, do an entire moto, get 24th and score no points. 1 point for 20th, and then that's it. You might as well just stay in the pits the whole time.
McCormick looking for his best performance of the year now. Makes the pass on Nathan Ramsey. Well, that's going to be divine justice. McCormick having a very difficult Supercross season. Passes a Supercross champion.
This goes to show. I think he had that under control. It looked a little nerve-wracking from here. Go back and look at McCormick's pass up the inside. Makes it look pretty easy, but let's look at something else. Okay, they're in deep ruts right here. See his foot? He's got to keep it pretty high, a little higher than normal because he's down in the rut to clear that inside berm. Just another one of those little things you don't really notice when these guys are at speed.
Jason McCormick, number 36. He's looking like he's getting it together.
Well, anytime you move up through the pack and pass somebody like Ramsey, it does a lot for your spirits in the sense that this pace, so much of it's mental. He's thinking good thoughts right now in that helmet. He should keep moving forward. It gives him a lot of confidence to build on in the rounds to come.
That kind of confidence he showed us at Washougal in his home state a couple of times.
Well, that's a perfect example of the mental aspect. If you can go to a particular round and pull off a great performance, then that performance is in there the rest of the time. It's a matter of getting your head right.
Ricky Carmichael, our leader. And he's really starting to pull a lead now on the rest of the crew.
Now his lines look good. He's charging hard. Look at that, just pegged through there. I haven't seen him make a mistake yet. He does not want to have anything to do with Bolin in this moto. The thought of him losing the overall is just about the worst thing in the world he can think of, so he doesn't even want to let him get close and have an opportunity.
Carmichael just taking away with this second moto, trying for his second consecutive overall win in two 125 events.
Lytle hanging on here a little longer than he did the first time. You can see there how close McCormick and Ramsey have gotten to these guys, and we're running 1-2 in the opening lap.
Our Suzuki rundown, you see McCormick in 5th place there behind Casey Johnson. That's exactly what we're focused on. Casey, number 16. McCormick getting antsy.
He's really putting on a good charge here. And you can see 3rd place is right there within his grasp.
McCormick to the inside, takes Casey Johnson. In all fairness to Casey Johnson, and I don't mean to take away from anything of Jason McCormick, But Casey's still trying to recover from that Supercross injury. And Jason McCormick, he's come to race here today, and he's taking on Casey Lytle now for third.
There's another section where McCormick's making up time, and I agree with you, Art. Casey's just trying to race his way back into shape. And McCormick is just on fire this moto. Everything's coming together. Watch the way he goes around the outside, misses all those braking bumps. Sets him up perfect for that pass. If Casey would have drifted a little wider, that would have been over with.
The battle for third as Carmichael has run away with the lead. Look at that. McCormick, that was an easy one compared to the last two.
That looks easy, but he was very aggressive. It's hard to hold the bike tight when you're going that hard.
Here comes Casey Johnson. Casey Johnson passes Casey Lytle as we get set for a break, when the checkers are going to be flying for the 125s when we return. Welcome back. Art Ekman, David Bailey, and Davey Coombs from Sacramento, California. Our second round well underway. The first moto winner, Talon Volan, in the 125s. Right now, Ricky Carmichael is dominating this second moto of the 125s. We're looking right now at the only battle, really, and that is for fourth. Nathan Ramsey making a move on number 33, Casey Lytle. Ramsey going into that corner. Oh, they almost touched.
That was just a gamble on his part. He just flew off that jump, tried to out-jump him and just place himself to the inside for the block pass. Lytle had to just back off.
Ramsey starting to get aggressive. Looks like he's gained some confidence from that first moto appearance.
There's Ramsey again making his pass, just out-jumping Lytle into the corner. Here's what I want you to see. Look how close they get. If Lytle doesn't play his cards right here, look how close his front wheel is to the back tire of Ramsey. Just puts on the brakes just enough. These guys know the dimensions of their motorcycle to the inch.
Casey Johnson and Nathan Ramsey, fourth and fifth positions now. He had a tough start in the Supercross season, but came back to win a 125 championship. He's got more races now in motocross to try to recover from that dubious opener. Before race time today, we talked with him about the Glen Helen experience.
I was a little anxious and wanted to keep the ball rolling, into the outdoors. And I came into that first race and crashed in both the first motos and the second moto too. So, it was kind of depressing, but I feel like I rode pretty strong. So I'm going to just try to, come at this race at Hangtown and get good starts, first of all, and then try to get up there with the top guys and race that speed.
All the tight racing action has been behind the two leaders. Ricky Carmichael checking out in first place, and in second place, Talon Volan. All the action's been back here at third, fourth, fifth, and sixth.
Johnson making a little mistake before the big tree double downhill. Nathan right there behind can see that. He knows that this is the part of the race where Johnson starts to get a little bit weak, and in his defense, of course, that injury, not able to come in here 100%. There goes that same place where he made his pass before.
Just as close, but this time Johnson comes out of it with some good torque. Nathan Ramsey, though, holds on to the inside.
Almost able to retaliate there. He had a good idea by squaring him off, but Ramsey didn't make any mistakes heading up that hill into the corner, able to hold on. To tell you the truth, I don't know that Johnson's really ready to go out there and keep battling with Ramsey the rest of this race. He just made a couple of mistakes. He got past. You can see that Ramsey is still pretty antsy and motivated to work his way up front, jumping that double. I don't know if Johnson's arm is really going to allow him to ride that aggressive towards the end of the moto.
And here's the battle for sixth now with Casey Lytle and Brock Sellards. Sellards has been pretty pummeled with the guys passing him. Now he's trying to get a hold of another position by passing Lytle.
That's exactly right. Get the whole shot the first moto and had everybody working their way around. Now he gets to do it back. Pretty good ride for him. This will be a good performance. Working his way up the ladder. It's a long series. If he keeps looking at performances like this and improving a little bit, he could be right there at the end, be one of the guys who can go up there and run with Volan. I'm not sure that anybody's going to be able to run with Carmichael. Certainly position himself to win in the future.
Great move to the inside. Brock Sellards passing Casey Lytle.
Smart too, goes right for that inside line. That's where he got passed a lot in the first moto. He's like, okay, that's not going to happen again.
Brock Sellards learning from that first moto. Number 27 on the FMF machine.
This is the time of day, too, and towards the end of their second moto where the track starts to get pretty dry in spots where it was slick earlier. Really got to be careful on the throttle. Make sure you got a berm to make your pivot and then get accelerating across that slick stuff in a straight line.
Number 23 is Nick Way coming into the picture now behind Lytle.
Way had such good starts in that opening round that it was easy for him to get into a good rhythm, good fast rhythm. Here, he's had to work from behind. It's tougher.
Nick Way started to really find himself at the end of the Supercross season, and then we asked him about his second place overall in the opener.
Well, all year long, I've been kind of struggling at the beginning, and things have been coming together for me, and I just feel a lot better on my bike, and me and my mechanic are working real good together, and my bike's excellent, and you know, just doing my best out there, and that's what happened, and this week I hope for better things to come.
Well, he has his sights set high. That opening round, getting both hole shots, really helped him get out front and establish a good rhythm in the series, and today it's been a lot tougher, but he's still charging forward. He looks aggressive to me right here.
Very young rider with a lot of potential, Nick Way, out of the state of Michigan. We'll be right back with more 125 action from Sacramento right after these important words. For the Suzuki flashback, we turn back the pages of time to 1997 at the Hangtown Classic. Jeff Emig, on his way to the 1997 250 national title, wins the first moto. The significant pass in the last lap of the first moto, Greg Albertine setting himself up for the overall, passing Larry Ward. Second moto, it was Greg Albertine battling Doug Henry. Henry's machine smoking, so Albertine not only battling the rider, but also the smoke. The second national 250 victory for Albertine.
While we were away, this was the pass. Nick Way on Casey Lytle. Almost hits his back tire, but cuts to the inside. Block pass, takes over the spot.
Nick Way taking over 7th position as we go back to our leader, Ricky Carmichael, in the Suzuki stopwatch. Get an idea of the interval of time. This is a lap for Jason Thomas, and it is a long way back to second place in Talon Bolin. About 12 seconds or between 11 and 12 seconds to second place, and then another huge gap back to third, David Baylor.
That's just frustrating. You come around, you're that far behind. You're just going, oh man. And it's been an amazing ride for McCormick there, going by about 27 seconds back. And he's got to think, geez, I'm that far behind, and like one of my best rides of the season so far. That's how good Carmichael is and how fast Bolin is.
Johnson, Brock Sellards going through the picture. So about 44.62 seconds back to 9th place from our leader, Ricky Carmichael. Carmichael has been absolutely flawless in this second moto.
And get under the power through that berm. It's starting to get choppy. You can hear it. He steals a glance over his shoulder as he goes down that downhill double just to see where Talon is.
As Ricky Carmichael circles the track, let's check in with Davey down in the mechanics area.
Wow, Chad, looks like Ricky came out firing this moto. What did he talk about between motos? How did he feel?
Well, after the first moto, his left arm pumped up. He's holding on a little tight. So he just relaxed it. Dr. Pagan drained the blood out of it, freshed it in and out. So, I mean, evidently right now things are going pretty smooth. As long as it keeps continuing this way, then the outcome should be pretty good.
And here's Ricky Carmichael's teammate, number 25, Nathan Ramsey, on the move.
Making a little bit of time on McCormick, but it's hard to say. He's still got, McCormick's got a fast pace going. He's not gaining fast enough, I don't think, to make a move.
Very little mystery in this moto.
This is the part of the race when you look up the track and see a big gap where you're going, man, if I could have just got a little bit better start, it'll be all different. He knows he's capable of running the pace of the guys out front. You can't start with him. It's pretty tough to race with him.
Ramsey's mechanic. Focus ahead.
Trying to let him know that McCormick looks tired. For all Nathan knows, he could be lying. You know, whatever it takes to get these guys motivated at the end of the race.
Nick Way's mechanic gives him the thumbs up. Way recovering well.
Nathan's still aggressive, though. You can see right here, he's pushing hard. get a signal like that, and then you think, maybe he can still do it. Push a little bit harder, and all McCormick's got to do is look back there to see that he gained a little bit, and that may change his style of riding, and then who knows what can happen.
Volan looking very smooth. Riding almost alone in second place. Davey Combs is with his brother right now, Tyson. Davey.
Obviously, Carmichael came out with his best game so far in his second moto. How do you think Town will respond in the last half?
Yeah, Ricky's riding real well right now. He got off a couple spots ahead of us, got to the lead and stretched it out quick. We're hanging in there, but it looks like we're losing about half a second a lap. At the halfway point right now, I'd say we'd probably just have to settle for second and take our points.
For some reason, I can't see Talon Volan settling for anything, David Bailey, but he knows that Ricky Carmichael has got the big edge on him right now.
He's still riding aggressive. You know, he doesn't want to. One thing you don't want to do is just settle for second and make that lead huge. You want to stay pretty close so that Carmichael can't go back to the pits and go, I have that guy. I mean, you need to have him looking back on, man, he was still pretty close. I won the moto, but, it wasn't that much of a blowout.
David, the pit board for McCormick saying breathe, and I guess it's kind of unusual, but you do forget to breathe in certain situations.
Sure, especially in Supercross. But out here, you see the rider looking a little bit tight. You just want to remind him, try to keep him relaxed.
Lots of AMA motocross action ahead on the season. Check out the location nearest you. We'll be right back.
Just want to show you how tough this can be. Late in the race, the track's getting rough. You get a slightly off line. Boom. Back end swaps around, kicks up a big bucket full of dirt right there. Doesn't even phase McCormick. Right back on the power in the smooth line. That kind of stuff happens out there. That's sometimes why those mechanics remind you to breathe.
Jason McCormick still ready to post his finest moto of the season. He's got to be getting tired by now.
There's his mechanic. Hang on. Third looks good.
Representing the Planet Honda team. There's Casey Johnson now getting some static from Brock Sellards.
Sellards still moving forward. First moto did a lot for his spirits, and here he is battling Casey Johnson once again. One of the faster sections on the racetrack, heading up to the big tree and then the big double downhill.
Oh, look at Sellards. Beautiful move on the outside on Casey Johnson.
Oh, that was, that could have been. I don't even want to think how that could have turned out. That was
slammed it down.
That's what we call the panic rev.
And here's our leader. Weeding through the lappers. Ricky Carmichael on the white flag lap. Final turn around the course.
Doesn't look like he's slowed down that much. Probably just having a good time out there. Everything's coming together. You slow down a little bit sometimes and changes your timing. You hit bumps at a different speed, and sometimes you blow it. See guys fall in the last lap, make a lot of mistakes, lose all kinds of time. Right here, he's still attacking the racetrack.
This will be his third out of 4 motos this year. Victorious. Here's Brock Sellards, number 27, and Nathan Ramsey slapping the turf.
Got that front end a little high, just pitched it down and gave him almost whiplash.
Ricky Carmichael on way to his second overall victory in 2 races on the 1999 season. Nathan Ramsey has gone down on the track. We'll see how many positions he slips back. But for Ricky Carmichael, he's only 7 wins away from tying the career 125 win record with the checkered flag here today. Carmichael, Volan, McCormick, the top 3 in this moto. See Nathan Ramsey moving down to 7th. Let's go to Davey.
Town, after a great first moto, Ricky came out firing, and it looked like he just decided to settle and take second.
Well, I chose on the back to have my same tire as the first moto because I like it rounded for the cement start. Got me a good start, but look, obviously, I was really sliding. I almost lost in the back section, and I had a couple other close calls. I was pushing hard, holding about even, but I was at my limit, so that's where it goes. From when I was younger, I wouldn't be mature enough to go, okay, I take my points today, and we go on to the next race, Last week I caught and passed him. This week he got a better start second moto. It's going to be a hard, tough fight. We're both about the same speed the whole way, so I just accepted that. I'd like to win here, but I won the first moto. I'm very happy with the results, and I go on to the next race.
I tell you what, it's fantastic having you here. We were thinking it was going to be a Carmichael runaway all year long. If it weren't for you, it might be, but right now it's kind of straight up.
Yeah, we're both equal on speed, you know. He was going a little bit better that moto. It seemed like, I don't know if he's getting better traction or what the situation was, but like, again, you have to accept that sometimes when a guy's going better than you a certain moto, next week I could be way faster. So you just have to accept that and go on.
Taking a look at the overall finish positions, the 2-1 beating the 1-2 for the overall victory for Carmichael. Sellards also on the podium. Let's go back to Davey now, who's with Ricky.
All right, Ricky, way to respond to a big challenge. I got to tell you, Bolin was flying the first moto. You pumped up a little bit, second moto, whole different ball game.
Yeah, I got out front, and you know, I got that little lead. And when one of us gets that lead, it's hard to close the gap in, you know. And I just rode my own race that time, and I didn't get tight. And I tell you what, my Kawasaki and Bridgestone tires was hooking up, and you know, I'm glad I could you know, get the overall. It was important to me. I didn't make up very many points, but we're going back to the East Coast, and that's on my turf, and some good tracks, and I'm excited. So it should be a lot funner for me.
Well, right now you're 2 for 2 in the 125 National Series. Got to say that some of the problems of the Supercross Series long behind you, and you are going back to your favorite East Coast.
Yeah, I am going back to East Coast. You know, Mount Morris is the next race, and I had a great national there last year, and that's one of my favorite tracks. And I'm excited to go there. And you know, these first 2 nationals was going to be my hardest ones, and I'm glad I got them out of the way, and I'm glad I could come out with victories.
Carmichael and Bolin scoring the same number of points for winning one and taking second in the other are still 13 points apart in the championship race. Ways in third, while Johnson and Sellards are tied for fourth in the point standings. Back in the pit area, Jeff Emig signing autographs for his many fans. It'll be Emig, Lusk, Tortelli, and the rest of the prestigious 250 field coming up next when we return.